Hey, so Derek here, September 7th. This is my week note for this week. So I'm going to be trying to do more of these. It's just basically a quick reflection on the key ideas that I've been playing with, the key conversations I've been having in the last week. It's going to be raw, it's going to be imperfect, but also trying to summarize some of the stuff and hopefully through this start to see some patterns that are emerging. So there's kind of three things that really jumped out at me from this past week. The first one is around this whole idea of AI. Might have heard of it. Seems to be kind of a big thing. But basically, there's governments everywhere going through major cuts right now. And one of the places they're looking to cut to save money is staffing. So most governments that I've been talking to around the world are in some form or another of cutting staff. At the same time, expectations are at the very least staying the same, if not increasing. So how do you bridge the gap of capacity and expectation? And this is where AI comes in. There's a lot of expectation that AI is going to help governments bridge that gap. There's a really interesting report that I will create a video on soon by the DAIS in Canada that's looking at where the low-hanging fruit is for the government of Canada around AI and the public workforce. The second one is innovation. Where is innovation being made real, tangible, practical? And I had a conversation this week with a man named Suryan from Thailand. He leads their policy innovation lab. And we got talking about, like where does he find innovation happening within his government in Thailand? And he talked a lot about the public health sector. This is a place that he goes to and he looks at for innovation. I think he's right. I think healthcare, because of the incredible pressure it's under, it's actually a place where a lot of innovation is happening. Probably not just in Thailand, but I suspect that's the case in most places. So that's something I thought was quite interesting. Like, where's innovation being made practical? Healthcare might be a place to take a lot more serious look at. So the third thing, communities of practice. I host a monthly meetup of people who lead communities and networks in government, and it was this week. And I had a group of people from the UK who lead communities of practice within the UK on the call this week. And we talked a lot about how there's lots of different communities of practice that are popping up across the government of the UK, but they're not talking to each other and they're not connecting to each other. And as a result, you can have multiple communities of practice that are on the same subject. And so one of the things we're going to be doing in the UK is we're actually going to go through and try to map them out. And just by, like, if we can just have a repository of what the communities of practice are, who to contact, that's going to go a long way to helping increase the interconnectivity and improving the spread of good practices. Interestingly enough, though, it's not just a UK problem. There's a friend of mine, Natasha, who's currently trying to create a community of practice around AI and government in the government of Canada. And in doing that, she's discovered that most departments have some form of community of practice around AI, but they're not talking to each other. So she's trying to create this big umbrella in Canada. Anyways, those are sort of three themes that have jumped out at me from this week. I'm kind of curious to see how they evolve.